Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to our seventh class of this Improvement English course. I hope you had a wonderful holiday with your loved ones. Can you hear me?
Yes, teacher. Good evening, teacher.
Good evening. Happy New Year.
Good evening.
You too, teacher.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me answer this. So, for today, we have two topics. We're going to cover two small topics, but really important topics because, as I always say, they are in your test. So, they are important even though they're simple. And we need every point, okay? So, because every point matters. So, the first topic is going to be covered by Rosanna Familia, which is adjectives ending in ing and ed. And after that, I am going to explain to you the other topic, which is relative pronoun. This class was supposed to be held by Federico, but something came up, so he can't be here with us tonight. So I'm gonna be covering for him. But it's something really simple. So let me share my screen so Rosanna can start with her presentation. We're getting close to the end. We have been seeing easy topics and our classes have been really short, but things are going to change after next week because we're going to start diving into the more complicated topics. This is part of the Christmas spirit in the class, okay? Taking things easy and covering only the more easy topics. But later, after next week, we're going to start seeing difficult topics like, models of deduction, past models of deduction. We're going to see conditionals because they are in your test, and some other topics, past perfect. So let me share my computer. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can, teacher.
Okay, perfect. So Rosanna, the time is yours.
Okay. Good. Let's begin with my topic. Adjectives ending in ed and ing. It's very easy. The next teacher, please. There are adjectives which can take both endings, ed and ing. Here we can see two pictures. In the first picture, I'm bored. In the second picture, this is very boring course. In this case, we can see the girl say I'm bored. Why? Because the course is very boring. Okay. Here, bored is a feeling. Yes, understand, it's a feeling. And boring is the cause for the girl is bored. Jane has been doing the same job for a very long time. Every day she does exactly the same thing again and again. She doesn't enjoy her job anymore and would like to do something different. Jane's job is boring. For that, Jane is bored with her job. Now we're going to see the difference between D and ing. It describes a state, how you are or feel in a certain situation. I'm bored, and ing. Meanwhile, ing describes the quality, how something or someone is that makes me feel that way. In this case, I'm bored because the course is boring. Adjectives in ed and ing. We use the adjective ending in ed for the person who has the feeling. I was very frustrated that I couldn't go surfing. We use ing for a person or situation that produced the feeling. I couldn't join the conversation, which was very frustrating. You see the difference is very clear here. Then we have in the next teacher, please, we have some examples, some adjectives with ed and the same adjective we can use with ing depend the case. Here are notes. If they feel annoying, describe this feel. Bored is a feel, and boring, describe the feel. Confused is the feel, and confusing describe the feel. And you can see the others that we have here. Remember something very important. Adjective ending in ing describe characteristics or situations. For example, my girlfriend is loving. Adjective ending in ed describe a feeling or emotion. For example, my girlfriend is loving. Now we have one exercise. The next teacher, please, and the last one. We have an exercise, very easy. See? We need to fill with the correct adjectives. In the first, the feel was so. I nearly fell asleep. I feel now. What is, please? What is the adjective? In this case, okay, here we have grace.
Yes, the field was so. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I hear it.
The field was so boring. I nearly fell asleep. I feel bored now.
Excellent, Gracie. That's correct. The next, please, Alfonso.
Okay. Luis is bored because he have. Excuse me.
No.
Okay, excuse me. Okay, I begin.
Change the adjective.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Luis is tired. Tiring. No.
Exactly.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Luis is tiring because he has a tired day.
Time day. Exactly. Correct. Okay. The next, please. The next one. Nobody? Oh, teacher.
Remember to raise your hand
No.
to participate with this practice.
Okay.
Number 3. Otoniel.
I would like to participate in this case.
Okay. I thought the answer
Number
were.
3.
I tried to say the number 3. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Othoniel.
Okay. I thought the answer were amazing. I was amazed by their acting skills.
Excellent. Okay. The next one, number 4. Who participate? The name number 4, Alfonso. You're right.
Number 4. Yeah,
Alfonso.
number four.
Okay.
The, the documentary was really interesting. I was interested when I was watching it.
Very good. Very good. Dear Nehemias, the number five. I see that Nehemias.
Yes. I raised my hand. Thank you. Number
Five.
five. What number is number five? Right?
Number five.
Yes. Number five.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
Yes,
I
number five.
was so surprised when I found out that the actor was getting married. Okay, yes, I was so surprised when I found out that the actor was getting married. It was a surprising situation.
Okay, very good. And the last one, number six. Number six.
Okay. Number
Alfonso, you are
Okay. The scene in the film. Okay, the scene in the film where the robber enters the van. It's really frightening. I felt frightened when I watched the scene.
yes, Alfonso, but the first one, you repeat, please.
Okay. The scene in the film where the robber enters the van. It's really frightening. I felt frightened when I watched the scene.
Okay, very good. Well, very good, teacher. That's all for me. I
Okay. Very good. Very well. Remember, guys, here it's bored. Okay, we can't say bored, but bored. Okay, bored. This is frightened, frightening. Okay. Okay, so very well, Rosanna. Thank you very much for your participation. So, to sum up, this is a pretty easy topic. Our students don't like this topic because these adjectives are normally verbs. So we turn them into adjectives by adding an ed or ing. So they get confused because they think ing is always present continuous or ed is always past tense. They have to deal with that. But for teachers, it's more easy because they already know this difference. So what you need to remember is, to sum up, right, that we use the adjective ending in ed for emotions or feelings. Emotions or feelings. And we normally use this with persons and occasionally with animals. Okay? And these adjectives describe a transitory state, a temporary state. But in the case of, or whereas adjectives ending in ing, we use them to describe the characteristic of a person, thing, or situation, which is normally inherently to the person. Okay? So it's not the same to say I am bored, I am boring. I am bored is a temporary state. But when I say I am boring, that is a characteristic of my personality and is inherent to me. Okay, so there's a difference. In the test, you have like two questions where you need to choose the correct adjective. You need to see the structure of the sentence and infer from the context which is the one that you have to use. There's a clue that you can use, a guideline, a list that I use that I found really helpful. If we're talking about a person or an animal, we know we could use ed or ing. But if we are talking about a situation or a thing, we know we are only going to use ing. Okay? because we can't use ed for things or situations because those are states, and things and situation can have states. So that's a guideline that I use to rapidly identify which one I should use. Normally, with time, you just see the sentence and you automatically know which one you have to use. Okay, is everything clear so far with this topic? Do you have any questions?
No, teacher.
Okay, so I'm gonna send you perfect. I'm gonna send you a link and let's see how you do it. I'm gonna send you a link with exercises where you have to choose between ing and ing. Okay. After you finish that, we're going to continue with our next topic. So give me 1 minute. Okay. This one that I'm going to send you have 2 pages. Okay. So when you reach, okay, you can see my phone. But when you reach the bottom, you will see next page. So you click next page. And at the end, you're going to see the option of check answers. Okay. Okay, there you go. It's 9:18. So you have 10 minutes until 9:28. Remember to send your score to the WhatsApp group. I'm going to be here as always. 5 more minutes. Okay, time's up. So I see that the majority of you had good scores. Remember, this is about practice. You need to identify what are you missing in the exercises that you had wrong, so you can identify what you need to improve while you are taking an exam or a test. Okay, you get better at tests by taking tests. So tell me, Rosanna.
Teacher, in this exercise, there are two confusing sentences. I don't know if my partners saw the same that me.
Okay, what is the number of the sentences?
Okay, wait a minute. I am
Number
here.
six.
The number three.
Number three.
Number three.
Okay.
And the number six.
Okay. So why do you think is confusing?
Yes, because the correct answer is interesting and interesting. Are interesting and interesting,
Yes.
teacher?
Yes. Because we're talking about characteristics here. She knows a lot of we're talking about things, so we need to use ing. And then we are talking about a characteristic of a person. She is very interesting. Okay, so we're talking about the characteristic of that person.
And in the both sentence are talking about the same pronoun.
Yeah, we're talking about, yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
And number 6, okay, so I find my parents very embarrassing. They're not talking about a state, but a characteristic again. They put me in a lot of embarrassing situations. We're talking about situations. So we're not talking about, he's not talking about his state when they put him in embarrassing situations. He's talking about the characteristic of the situations. So situations are part of the ing uses. So we use ing adjectives with situations because ed is reserved for states and situations have no states. So that's the reason why it's embarrassing and embarrassing. That is important because you can have both adjectives with the same ending, okay? That is a way of tricking you that the test uses because they know you might be thinking, okay, I have to use one and then the other. But what if you haven't? What if you need to use one and the same again? So that's one way of tricking your mind so you can fail or test your knowledge. Okay, so let's continue with our next topic. As I said at the beginning, this was a topic of Federico, but something came up, so I will be covering for him. So let me share my screen. Okay. So this is going to be really brief. We're talking here about relative pronoun, okay? Remember that we use relative pronoun when we want to add more information about a noun, but we don't want to start a new sentence. So the relative pronoun allows me to provide more information without starting a new sentence. That is the use they have. So practically, what you need to know is something pretty basic. We won't cover this like the proper place for the relative pronoun because you won't be tested with this. What you need to remember is when to use one or the other. Remember that basically we have two categories, people or things, animals. So for people, we are going to use who, that, and whom, okay? So let's just focus on these two columns here. Let's ignore this one for a moment. So for people, we are going to use who, that, and whom. We know that who and whom are used interchangeably. We have someone speaking here. Give me a second. Othaniel, I think your mic is on.
Sorry.
Okay, it's okay. So we know that who and whom are used interchangeably in everyday English. They don't mean they are not designed to be used as synonym. But in everyday English, informal English, we know that who and whom are used interchangeably. Normally, where Americans should use whom, they use who. But in theory or on the paper, when we are in formal writing, like articles or speeches, we know that whom have a different use. We use whom as an object of a verb or a preposition, and who as a subject. But in this case, for the purpose of this class, which is to pass the test, we don't need to know that. what we need to know is that who and whom and that is for people. And that for things and animals, we are going to use which and that. Okay? In the case of whose, which is for possession, we can use whose for people or whose for things and animals. But this is not really important here. The important part is to remember that for animals and things, we use which and that. And you might be wondering, why am I making this emphasis about this particular purpose? Because in your test, you have a tricky sentence. You have a sentence about a cat, if I remember correctly, it's about a cat, and you have a blank space. So you have 4 options down. And you have who, whom, and whose. And the 4 option is a blank space. Okay? So you might feel tempted to say, okay, if I have a blank space, I need to choose one of the above. So I will choose who. But that is incorrect. Because for animals, and the sentence is about a cat, you need to use which or that. So the correct sentence here is the blank space. Okay? The correct sentence, the correct option here, is the blank space. Because for animals, and the sentence is about an animal, you need to use that or which, and you don't have it in the options. You only have who is for persons, whom is another one for persons or people, and whose is for possession, and the sentence is not about possession. So you need to use that or which. So the correct answer in the test would be the blank space. So there you have a point, another point. But either way, when you are taking your test, read the sentence and figure it out by yourself. So you are pleased with the answer, that you know why you choose that answer. Okay? But that's basically it. You have 2 questions in your test with the same method. Normally, if you read some book about how to take a test, they will tell you that when you see things that are not normal in a test, those things normally are the answer. So if I remember correctly, because I don't remember the other example, the other question, the correct answer is also the blank space. Because if you have 68 questions and each one of them have 4 options and 2 out of nowhere have 3 options and 1 with a blank space, the logic says that probably the answer is the blank space. If you don't know if you don't know how to answer it, you should choose the blank space. But it's just a recommendation or a suggestion. The important thing is that you know that you need to use that and which for animals or things. Is that clear? Tell me, Giovanni.
Teacher,
Yes.
in this situation, is the answer is the blank. So I didn't write anything.
No, you can't write anything because you are on a computer. So you have to choose one of those answers. So the blank space is an answer.
Okay. So how I choose the blank space?
You have
There will be multiple selections.
yeah you have
Okay.
multiple options. You just need to select the blank space. So they give you the option to select it.
You're going to have a letter. Okay.
Yes, I think it's
Okay.
letter D. Yes,
Okay, thank you.
always. Tell me, Alfonso Florian.
Okay, teacher. Teacher, it's correct to say, for example, this is the cat that by me, or this is the cat which by me. It's the same thing.
Yes, we can use that and which interchangeably when we're talking about animals and things.
Okay. Thank you, teacher.
Yeah, the only difference between which and that is that can be used with people, but which can only be used with things and animals, not with people. But that can be used with animal, people, and situations.
Thank you, teacher.
Yes. So, do you have any other questions? So if there are no further questions, I'm gonna send another exercise where you have to use the correct relative pronoun. So you're gonna have here the option of whose, but you know that whose is for possession. Okay, so let me send you this, and that will be all for tonight. So before I send this exercise, we have another topic for next Tuesday, of course. As I was saying at the beginning of the class, we have been seeing easy topics, but we are going to, after next week, we're going to enter to the more difficult ones. And the first one is indefinite pronouns. It's not such a difficult topic for students. They seem to find it really difficult, but it's not as difficult as the others, because I think that on Thursday we are going to start covering and exploring models of deductions. But for Tuesday we have indefinite pronouns. So I want to know who of you is going to offer to present this topic. Indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronouns. Alfonso Florian, do you want to present this topic? I don't know if Giovanni was offering himself too.
Okay.
Alfonso?
Okay. Yeah, I would like to present this stuff.
Okay, so in this case, Alfonso, I want you to explore the whole topic.
Yeah.
It's kind of long, sort of long, large, but yes, I want you to pay attention to the common mistakes that people normally do when they are using the indefinite pronouns, especially when we are dealing with negative sentences. Okay? With negative sentences, because in the test, the tricky question is with that negative sentence where you have to use one indefinite pronoun. So I want to address that and to cover that, because you're going to need that specific point. So we're going to see the whole topic of indefinite pronouns, and then I want you to focus on the correct use and the common mistakes that people normally do when they are using the indefinite pronouns.
Teacher, if you can please tell me this information by the chat.
Yes, of course, no problem. I will send it to your personal number. Yeah, okay.
Thank you, teacher.
So with that being said, let me send you now the last link of the last exercise. So after you finish and you send your score, you can leave the class. That will be all for tonight. Okay, give me 1 second.
Sorry, teacher, when you talk about indefinite pronoun, you're talking about words like another, everyone, nothing, once, or something like that.
We're talking about someone, somebody, anyone, anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Everywhere, anywhere, yeah. Okay. Okay, this test is from, okay, this exercise is from the British Council, and you have two, okay? So you filled the first one, let me see, no, just focus on the first one, relative pronouns 1, okay? Just the first one. When you finish, you send your score. It's only 8 exercises. You need to pick the option and put it into the blank space, okay? Just the first one. Okay, sent the link to the WhatsApp group. Remember the first one? relative pronouns 1. You have the options at the top. You need to pick the option and put it into the blank space. When you finish, you hit see results or something like that at the end. They will give you a score and you send that score to the group, and that's it. As always, I will be here waiting.
Sorry, teacher, there is a grammar, structural grammar lesson, but I can find the exercise.
We can find the exercise. Let me show you. Give me a second.
The same happened to me, teacher. I'm sorry.
Okay, give me a second. Don't worry. Let me show you here.
Otoniel, the teacher is in here.
Wow.
Yes, I'm here.
I think, or I said that we have.
Sorry, I'm here. Sorry, I was answering you, but my mic was off. Sorry. So, let me show you. Okay, this is the page that I sent you. So here, where you see relative pronouns 1, you're gonna click here, and this is the exercise. So you need to pick the answers like this, and or click to the answers and then click in the blank space where you think the answer goes, and that's it. After you finish, you click finish, and it will give you a score. Just the first one.
Teacher.
Yeah. Yes, Giovanni.
But I feel the question, but I can't see this field. Is it right?
You mean
You
the
understand me?
answers?
Yes, I make the answer. I do the answer, but I can check that. It's still blank.
Okay, here, can you see my screen?
For example, okay, the number 1. Call me as a subject. I answer which, but I can see this.
You can see it. I mean, did you try to
Yes,
to pick like this?
I select switch, but I can see. I see.
And you did this?
You have to make double click in the answer.
Okay. Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, guys. There's something wrong with the page because sometimes you choose the correct answer and it says that it is incorrect. If you want to confirm that you chose the correct answer, you just need to click to see the answers and you will see that you chose the correct answer. Okay, it's something wrong with the page. In some occasions, it's accurate and sometimes it's not. I don't know what is happening with the British Council page. Gracie?
Teacher,
Teacher,
teacher, I
I
found
found
out
out
something
something
that
that
in the
in the
answer,
answer,
we
we
have
have
answers
answers
that
that
have
have
three
three
options. For
options. For
example,
example,
number,
number, let me see,
number,
number,
let me
let me
see,
see,
number
number
5
five
and
and
number
number
8.
eight.
You have
You
an
have an
answer.
answer.
I'm
I'm
sorry, I'm
sorry, I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Okay.
I'm
I'm
sorry, I'm
sorry, I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Number 5
Number
and
five and
number
number
8.
eight.
The
The
answer
answer
is the
is the
one.
one.
You have for number 5 and number 8 only one answer, one possible answer, which is we're talking about here about a person. Meryl Streep is the famous person. So here I could use who or that only, who or that, because I'm talking about a person here. So the answer is who or that. And in the case of the number 8, you're the most beautiful person. We're talking about a person again, so the answer is who or that. Okay, we can't use which or that because which is only for things and situations, never for persons. Tell me, Nehemiah.
Yes, teacher. Thank you for letting us the information because I was a little confused about number two and number three because I chose which that, but I got that they were wrong in exam. I was really scared about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Because I tried to
Okay,
do it.
thank you.
I did it myself, and I
Okay,
saw that it was giving me as wrong correct answers. So I
okay.
clicked show answers, and I saw that they were choosing my same answers. So I figured out that something
Okay,
was wrong
okay.
with the page.
Okay. Thanks for the information, teacher. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So, guys, that will be all for today. For those of you who haven't finished their exercise, please finish the exercise, send your score to the group. If you have a problem with the results, just click see answers and confirm that you chose the correct answers because at the end, that's what matters. Remember to keep studying. You don't have any new assignments on the platform. Maybe next week you will have another one because we need to do something, at least two practices or two exercises this month because as I told at the beginning, the plan is to finish this by the end of January. Okay, so next week, next Tuesday, we are going to explore indefinite pronouns. So check that out. So you are in context and with the information fresh in your mind. So with that being said, this class is going to be available tomorrow as always on the platform. Enjoy your weekend and see you on Tuesday. Good night.
Good night, teacher.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night, teacher.
Good night.
Good night, teacher.